Hi Rudy, Oceana here with G3 Agency with your free website audit for Boca Raton epoxy floors in Boca Raton, Florida. In this free SEO website audit provided by G3 Agency, I'm going to show you 3 to 4 things that you can do to get Boca Raton epoxy floors in front of people searching for epoxy flooring services in the Boca Raton and greater Miami area. The reason that I included Miami is because the search volume for Boca Raton is very low, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a moment. Like I said on the phone, I don't expect anything in return for this video, but I would love some feedback on whether it was clear and helpful. So I'll be following up with you in the next few days or so to see if you had a chance to watch this and to see what you thought. So let's jump right in. So we've got the first thing that I always notice, and this is a beautiful background, by the way, I love this. The first thing that I always notice when I go to a website, because this is my job, is whether or not they have a click to call phone number up here in the corner, a big noticeable one. So you do have a click to call phone number, so that's a win in your pocket for sure. I would make this a bit bigger, make it kind of obvious. It might not seem like it would make a big difference, but people, they have short attention spans. They don't always pay attention, so it does make a difference. And then the second thing I always check for is content. How many words are on the page and are they related to the situation, right? So you do have related words, some content on here about epoxy flooring, and that's great. But you're going to want to increase the word count. We really suggest to start out 2,000 words on the home page and 1,000 or more words on the other pages of the website. The reason for this is that Google believes that content is king, and the more keyword-rich content you have on your home page and on your other pages, the more relevant you must be, the more you must know about your subject at hand. So, and then the last thing I want to point out is your images. So if I right click on this image or any image, click Save Image As, I can see what it was saved as, and it was saved as your name, which makes sense from a normal perspective, right? However, this is actually a spot that's pretty good real estate for saving your images. You can save them as keywords that people are searching for when they're looking for your services in your service areas. So this would be a good place to put, what you want to do is you want to save the images again, but as these keywords, and I'll show you how we find out what keywords people are searching for in a moment. But you want to save them as those keywords and re-upload them so that you can get found for them. Okay, so now I'm going to jump over to my favorite tool. This is called Ahrefs. And what it does is it gives us an in-depth look into how a website is performing, because it's one thing for your website to look nice, which it does. It's a whole other thing for it to actually work as a lead generation machine the way that that it can, right? So those are 2 different concepts. So right here, this UR score and DR score, what these scores are basically is how trustworthy does Google think that your website is? And these are fairly low, although not insanely low scores. They are low, and we do want to bring them up. And how we do that is through backlinks and referring domains. So this 31 and 4 here, you'll notice, what this is telling me is that there are 4 different websites out there on the internet that have a total of 31 links to your website. So that's good, but it's definitely not good enough. So you want to increase this number of referring domains, but there's a trick to it. You can't just take any, you can't just go onto any website on the internet and put your link on there and call it good. You really want to go after and find websites that are more trustworthy than yours. So you want to bring up your score. So the websites that have a higher score than you do here and are relevant to your services. So other epoxy floor services or maybe garage door services, that's related, so it's, if you go and you, it's a restaurant for chicken wings, it's just not going to be as effective as if it's related to your industry, some kind of home services, maybe a roofing company, etc. And so that's going to help bring your score up. But if you have irrelevant websites pointing to you, Websites that have really low scores, like even lower than yours, that's actually going to bring your score down. So you want to lift it up. You want to find good sources. And then here you have, this is the last thing I want to show you on this page, organic keywords and organic traffic. So what organic keywords is how many different phrases could a person type into Google and have you show up in the first 100 results. Now, being the 11th result is just about as bad as being the 99th because only the first 10 actually make it onto the first page of results on Google, and hardly anyone goes past that first page. Either they find what they're looking for on that first page or they give up. And so it's really important to be on there. And you're currently not on the first page and you're getting 0 traffic. So I know that you're not on the first page because I looked earlier and you were in the 99th and 100th position, which is as far down the list as you can get without not being on the list because it's only the first 100. So you definitely want to increase the amount of words that you are showing up for. So now I'm going to show you how to find what words you want to show up for. What are people actually typing into Google when they're looking for your services? So like I said earlier, I included Miami because without Miami, you really had like very little search volume. If I click on Boca here, you can see, let's see, it's loading. You got very few. So this is keyword volume, meaning how many times people are typing this exact phrase into Google every single month on average is between 0 and 10. So that could mean that someone's typing it in every couple of months or so. I mean, it could really be that low. So that's why I focused on Miami as well, because it's, you know, according to Google's maps, I'm not from Florida, but according to Google Maps, it was about an hour and a half or something. And that's, you know, I'm from the LA area and people don't bat their eye at you know, going for an hour drive for work. So if this doesn't work for you, then I don't know what to say, but Epoxy Flooring Miami is getting 60. And you know, it's still actually kind of low. You might want to look into advertisements. Normally I don't suggest that to people, but with volume so low, that means that people aren't really looking for your services. I mean, some people are, right? So 60 plus 20 plus 10 plus 10 plus, you know, every once in a while these guys down here which have a 0 to 10. But these are the words, these 4 right here, those are the ones that you're going to want to include on your website. That's what you want to save your images as, etc. So Epoxy Flooring Miami is what I'm going to focus on here for the rest of this video. So we've got the ads up here. That's most people just skip right past the ads. And then you've got the map pack, and how you end up in the map pack is you have to be the top 3 local results in the area. So you're going to want to actually create a Google My Business that looks like they are in that you're in Miami, Florida, and you want to list that business's information. So get a phone number, make sure that the address is one that you can post places. And so that way you have your name, address, and phone number listed in different directories like Yext, City Star, White Pages, Yellow Pages, Facebook, etc., Yelp. And you want to go and list that information as many places as you can, and that'll help to push you to the top of the results and get you into the map pack. But that's not nearly as exciting as being in this spot right here. This is the most coveted spot to be on. It is what we call the #1 organic result, and it actually, of all of the results, it gets 30% of the clicks. So it's definitely the place you want to be. So what we do is we look at who's there and we go, why is it that they're there and we are not? What can we do differently? How can we beat them? So the first thing that I notice, they do have a number up here, but it's not a click to call. It actually just brings you back to the home page. So you're already winning in that department. And we can look and see what they're saving their images as: epoxy flooring, custom, Miami Beach. So it does have the area and the service in there. So that's a pretty good keyword. So we're definitely going to want to do that as well. And then the amount of content they have, They have a decent amount of content. I've gone down this before. But it's still not that 2,000. I think if I remember correctly, it was about 1,200 words. So if you get that 2,000 words on your homepage, that'll help to lift you up as well. And if we throw them into Ahrefs, Miami Epoxy here, you can see they have a decent UR score. Their DR score is pretty low. So this is URL trust score and their domain trust score. Basically, how trustworthy is their homepage, the one that we put in here, versus their entire website. So it looks like they've put a lot more effort into ranking their homepage and not a whole lot of effort into ranking the other pages on their site, which is not a good, healthy foundation for them, which is going to make them vulnerable to being surpassed by us. And then they've got 2.5 thousand backlinks from 47 different websites. And that may seem very intimidating. That's a big number. But in time, it's not difficult to outdo that. And you don't necessarily have to outdo them in numbers. You just have to outdo them in quality. So, and then they're showing up for organic keywords here. Now, this is a fun thing we can do, is actually click on the organic keywords that they're showing up for and see what ones we can take. So we got epoxy flooring Miami, search volume 70. Polished concrete garage. Now this one looks nice because it's got a volume of 250. However, you'll notice that there's no area listed in this keyword. So this is what we call a national keyword, and it's actually not very helpful because sure, 250 people are typing that into Google every single month, but they could be in Los Angeles, or they could be in Washington, or. So it's not going to be super helpful, whereas something like this, concrete floor Miami, that might be helpful. Now, they might not be necessarily looking for an epoxy floor, but at least they're in the area, right? So that's kind of how we find more keywords that we want to show up for. Concrete polishing Miami, that might actually be helpful. So there's another 100. Yeah, now you get the point. So that's the end of my presentation here. You can reach me at this phone number in the corner. You can also email me at that email address. And I'm just going to real quick sum things up for you. You want to make sure to have 2,000 or more words on that home page, 1,000 or more words on the other pages of your website. Implement some backlinks to start ranking for some high volume keywords. Include those keywords on your home page, your other pages, as well as saving your images as those keywords. And add citations, your name, address, and phone number to your Google My Business listings in order to, not to your listings actually, to other directories, so that you can push your Google My Business listing to the top and get some calls, get some jobs from Google. So that's pretty exciting. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have, and I look forward to your feedback on this video if it was helpful. Thank you.